Education should be an enchanting and inspiring journey in which students are excited to embark on. After all, they will spend the next 20 or so years of their lives in this system, so why not make it a positive experience? I am blessed to be able to say that I have had a relatively positive experience in the education system. This is in large part thanks to the Waldorf School, an alternative Montessori-esque school that ignited the fire inside of my curious preschool and elementary-aged self. In Waldorf schools, they believe in hands-on learning. They believe that student education is an art and that fostering the child's imagination and hands-on abilities as much as possible will lead to the most success. Some of my earliest memories in preschool included me making my own lunch from scratch at school, from baking molasses muffins to learning to cut apples. When we learned our times tables, we went outside and practiced cartwheels over and over again, as the shape your body makes mid-cartwheel is an X, just like the multiplication sign. We played every day with dolls with no faces, because if my dolly was upset, I should be able to imagine her upset without having to deal with a big plastic smile on her face. And every afternoon, we would walk to the beach to explore. In 4th grade, my brother and I were mainstreamed into the public school system, as it was becoming silly to not take advantage of our widely recognized great neighborhood schools. Although the public schools were academically renowned, my passion and excitement to go to school every day began to dwindle. While playing with clay and doodling during class was encouraged at Waldorf School, it was frowned upon in the local schools. Needless to say, my brother and I had some adjusting to do. My massive North Shore suburb of Chicago High School was the size of a small college, at approximately 5,000 students in 2 campuses, one for the upperclassmen and one for the lowerclassmen. It was extremely easy to feel lost in the shuffle of things. Most people don't have to experience that anonymity until roughly the age of 18, when they get to college. I, however, got to experience it at the ripe age of 14. Don't get me wrong, though. My high school was an incredible place academic-wise. It sits in all the top 10 lists as far as academics go, shuffling students all over the country to go to prestigious colleges post-high school graduation, where students wear white gowns and tuxes rather than the traditional cap and gown. You would think it would be easy to find your niche in such a large school, and while I eventually did, it took me 2 years. I wasn't a state-winning athlete or a theater student aiming to make it on Broadway. I was just me, into drawing and discussing things about the world that fascinated me. That has always been my strong suit, discussion over test taking, which I believe is due to what Waldorf has instilled in me. My junior year, I was accepted into the school within a school called the Integrated Global Studies School, and that was where I found myself. The fire that Waldorf had lit had been reignited after all the years of the system trying to destroy it. I was finally in a learning environment where being inquisitive and was appreciated as curiosity, not frowned upon as not knowing. For the rest of high school, I didn't have to worry about the stress of test taking, and I was able to learn through discussions on topics that we as students were able to lead. I was finally in a place where other students were excited about learning as I was, and every day brought something new, whether it was that we decided to have class outside or we decided to present our papers slam poetry style rather than just handing them in. Our teachers finally seemed passionate and fired up in the most inspiring way about what they were teaching us, and rather than using test scores to determine our knowledge level, we got to choose how we wanted to demonstrate it, whether it be a project or a performance piece or a paper, because every student learns differently. The teachers trusted us with the 5 hours a day we spent with them to use our time wisely, since everyone who was enrolled in IGS actually wanted to be there. They weren't breathing down our necks like I had felt my teachers doing in the past. This refreshing style of learning, reminiscent of the private Waldorf Montessori elementary school I had attended, reignited the desire to learn that had been beaten down by the system the past few years.